Hi guys, this is Shayda from the 11th Apartment blog. Today I've got a fun little craft for you. We're going to be creating tiny galaxies. And the supplies for this craft include watercolor paper. Try to get 140 pound and up, and you might want to stretch your paper for this project. And if you're unfamiliar with that process, I have a video on stretching watercolor paper and I'll link that below. But definitely get 140 pound or up if you're not stretching. And then you'll need something circular for tracing and a white crayon. Cookie cutters are a good idea because you have a choice of sizes. You'll need watercolor paints. I'm using this craft quality set of discs from Michaels, and I'll link that as well. And then you'll need a large watercolor brush. And I'm using this water brush from Japan that my mother-in-law brought me back. It's really nice, but any watercolor brush over a size 10 or 12 will work fine. And you'll need white gouache and a palette to mix it in. And then you'll need a blotting sheet like paper towel and some clean water. So we're going to start by tracing your circle with the white crayon. And just get a nice dense coating of wax there. And you can see, it's hard to see on camera, but you'll be able to see it in life. And the main point is that it's creating a barrier. So now I'm putting a little bit of water into that circle, and you'll find as you move the water around, it naturally flows out to your wax barrier, and you can have this perfect circle without too much work. And I'll just speed this up here. I'm just putting in a nice light layer of color and water, using a little bit of blue and purple and gray, and you're just trying to get a nice layer of light colors on there. And you can move it around a little, add a little water, and just let that dry, and that's what it's going to look like when it's nice and dry. Then we're going to go back in and add some darker colors, and this is where you're going to start to form the look of that galaxy. I sort of like to think of that design on the MacBook screensaver, so I'm using pinks and purples and teals, and then of course adding lots of blacks and dark blues to get that sort of look of a little galaxy. And at this point you're going to let that dry really well. And through the magic of YouTube, I have a nice dry one right here that's ready to go. And I'm just going to mix up a little of my white gouache. I'm putting just a little bit of water in, and I'll show you the consistency. It's a nice puddle, so it's opaque, but it's thin enough to work with. And I've got a bunch of small paint brushes, everything from a size 0 to a 4, and I'll be using those. And then I've also got a few constellations that I sketched out. And this is a great part of the project. You can pick out some horoscope constellations if you wanted to make a birthday card. I've got Cancer there. That's my mom's birthday, so I could make a card for her. And then what you're going to do is take a little bit of the paint on your brush, and you're just going to tap, tap, tap. And doing that tapping, it's the best way to make these teeny, tiny little stars and keep control of the splatter. And you can always go in and add a few wherever you need them, just adding little pinpoint dots of paint, of gouache. And then once you're done, you like the look of the galaxy, if you splattered paint, which you probably did, on the page, just take a damp paintbrush and you can sort of wipe it out, and you'll never see it because it's white paint. Alternatively, you could put a paper or tape guard there. And then once that's dry, it's time to add your constellation, and of course that's just a few dots for stars, and then you can add little lines so that the constellation really jumps out. And I think this makes a really pretty little birthday card. As I said, I'm doing Cancer, so I could use that as a nice birthday card for my mom. And there it is.